Let's see if they can turn two. There's one. And there's two.
Pretty big fish to fry. That's pretty big fish to fry. My. That's pretty big fish to fry. That's pretty big fish to fry. My. Last weekend I barely thought I'd make it out alive. Told myself I'd take time and give the world a try. I was alive. My.
Oh, everybody, it is Wednesday, July the 19th, 2017. You're checking out the premier sports and beer podcast coming to you from all over this great nation. We are number one with amateurs that talk sports while they're drinking beer on iTunes. But you can find us on Stitcher now and on TuneIn and pretty much anywhere else that you can search a podcast. We're there. So welcome, everybody. Thanks for taking the time to listen today. My name is Jeff. This is the Turn 2 Sports and Beer podcast. Before we get started tonight and introduce the panel, let's go with a little bit of this.
Why don't you go back home to your strip malls and drink your Zimas and Smirnoff Ices? Oh, yeah! The greatest beer in all the world!
Somebody from the bar.
Yeah, I like cool beverage, yeah. I like cool beverage, yeah. I like cool beverage, yeah. Cause I'm feeling kind of parched. Stick it in the fridge, stick it in the fridge, stick it in the fridge, stick it in the fridge.
So there was a successful handoff this last week, and I am drinking something from the Kane Brewing Company and Finback Brewery. It is a pale ale, checking in at 5.4% alcohol by volume. It's called Sea Cow. It's delicious.
Moo.
That's kind of what Sea Cows sound like. So good job. From our nation's capital, Yampo booing.
I was mooing. That was mooing.
Oh, it's a mover.
Yeah, moo. I think you misunderstood.
Right.
How are we doing? I got a Narragansett. Oh, one of my Clam Shack 12-pack mixed cans here. Town Beach Day Pass IPA.
Fantastic. How is it?
Delicious.
All right, good. From Whippany, we got Paul.
What's going on, buddy?
Hey, man.
Yeah, I've been on this podcast a bunch of times, and I haven't done this yet. So I'm booting it tonight. I got water. I'm just drinking water.
You're not rocking like the cranberry juice cocktail?
No, just plain old water tonight.
Okay. All right. From Denville, New Jersey, we've got Brett.
Hey, buddy. Paul, it's like Cal Ripken finally sitting. You know, you not doing that.
I've always thought of Paul as Cal Ripken.
Very Ripken-esque.
Yeah.
So I see your Finback, Jeff.
Ooh.
And I raise you a Finback, collaborating with Magnify on Smell You Later. I've heard the nickname last week, and I think it's really funny because they don't make any other types of beers. Somebody called them Magnify PA. That was funny. But yes, 9.5%. You had texted earlier that you had one and were feeling a little woozy. And at first I thought you were a pussy. But
Whoa, hey.
But then
I'm not the first one to curse.
because I'm a third of the way.
Hang on.
I'm a third of the way through, man, and I feel you.
No, it's definitely true.
I
Both
get
of
you.
those, they can both be true, by the way. Like you can
Okay.
also be a pussy, and I am a pussy. So that's kind of how.
Was it mutually exclusive?
Right.
And together, you're two pussies, one beer.
Two pussies, one brewery. Actually,
Close.
more accurate. Hang on, I'm getting a random phone call. Hold on, I'm gonna take it.
You have a collect call from Manitowoc County Jail. Do you accept the charges?
From Manitowoc County. Yes. Hello.
Hi, this is Steve, and I'm drinking a Coors Light.
Oh my God! Oh my goodness! Goodness gracious!
This is Steve.
That's
This is
Sean's
Steve,
music.
And I have a two-part question for Yampo.
Welcome
Oh, two-part
I'm on
question.
limited time here, guys.
Two-part question.
Manitowoc County Jail.
Sorry.
I have a two-part question for Yampo. The first question is, if I sent you money via Western Union, can you put it on Tommy Fleetwood to win the Claret Jug?
Ooh, I can do that, but you can use technology ahead of that, and we can figure that out. But yes, we can.
I don't have that access.
In jail.
We need to do that like now.
The second question is if Nick is still into Young Boys.
These hot guys.
Not sure.
He's not here. He might be in another penitentiary somewhere.
Steve from Manitowoc coming in hot.
Whatever, yeah, Paul.
Not sure. He's not here to defend himself. Well, listen, welcome back, Steve from Manitowoc.
Yeah, long-time listener, first-time caller.
Well, we're happy. We're happy you're here.
I'm not.
Welcome back. The suspension has been lifted. What do you say we jump into a little bit of sports?
Wait, guys, it's me. It's Sean. It's not Steve.
Oh!
Did you get that?
Oh!
Sean, what's
I'm
up,
back.
buddy? Hey, man.
I'm back.
I think I can help with the Steve Sean thing.
And I really am having a Coors Light.
Yeah.
No, not you.
It
Shocking.
was crazy because I was like, it's sounding crystal clear coming in from jail. So I'm.
Well, the Wi-Fi
Fooled me.
in our nation's prisons is very solid.
Especially in Manitowoc.
Yeah. Yes. Manitowoc is known for their Google Fiber. Is actually really what it is, right? All right, let's talk about some New York sports recap. Yesterday, during the Yankee game, there was a whole lot of talk about some stuff going down. They finally did make a deal. Ended up getting some familiar faces back. Ended up getting somebody that I guess is going to play first, maybe play third. I'm not quite sure. Brett, first reaction, what do you make of the deal?
Love it. Love it. There was a rumored deal earlier in the day that the Yankees were going to trade Blake Rutherford, and it was going to Oakland for their first baseman, Alonso, and Sonny Gray.
Right.
And Rutherford was like the key prospect piece that was going to go. And I was like, all right, I'll take that deal. That's a good deal. That gets us starting pitching. It gets us a first baseman. And then Cashman, magician that he is, find a way to shove horrible Tyler Clippard into a trade. And I've complained about him several times on this show. Ships him out to Chicago in exchange for Todd Frazier, David Robertson coming back home, and then what's his name? Canley?
Yeah,
Canley
he pitched
or something
today.
like that. Yeah.
He was a prospect, Yankees prospect, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yep.
But getting Frazier, taking a Jersey boy and kind of bringing him home, he's having a decent year. He had a pretty decent first half. He hit a lot better away from Chicago than he did home in Chicago, so that's good. We got him out of Chicago. We brought him home, somebody that can play first base because it has been a mess there all year.
Shares that in common with Sean. Hits better away from Chicago than in Chicago.
That is true.
I have a question though. How many Fraziers are there in Major League Baseball? And can we get all 9 on the Yankees and get a starting like Fraziers everywhere?
There were a lot at one point this year. There were a ton of Tylers on the team. There was Tyler Webb, Tyler Clippard, Tyler Austin.
Okay, hold on. I got another question. Did you name 3 people when you were naming the first baseman for the Oakland A's, or was that one person?
No, Alonso was one. Sonny Gray was a pitcher.
Oh, this is so confusing. Baseball's confusing.
You're thinking of Alonzo Ball. That's what you're thinking of.
Oh, that's right. That's right. My favorite.
Right. Here's my issue with the whole Frazier thing. Like all day long, they were like, "Oh, the Yankees are gonna get Frazier. The Yankees are gonna get Frazier." Like I don't think that was even the important part of that deal. Like Frazier struck out. Like there were 12 people in Major League Baseball that struck out more than Frazier last year. He struck out a lot.
Yeah.
Was Chris Carter one of them? Because I feel like we've been down this road.
But exactly. I mean,
and I don't know. I mean, come playoff time, do you remember Robertson closing for us, right? Like it was like walk 2 guys on, then strike out the side. Do you have do you have the stomach to make it through Robertson and Betances?
I was gonna say the old
7th and 8th innings.
Well, it's not like Chapman's been freaking lights out. Like Chapman walked in the freaking winning run the other day. So I mean, it's not like
No, No, as stacked as their bullpen sounds with names, it certainly has a lot of question marks still. I like it with Warren, Robertson, Betances, and Chapman. I like it a lot, but they still need better starting pitching. And they, aside from scoring 6 runs last night, the 4 games in Boston and the first and the third at Minnesota, they can't score runs. So their offense needs to start coming alive. They haven't won a series since the Cleveland Cavaliers were still the reigning NBA champions. So that hurts.
Can I ask a ridiculous question? And
No.
I'm really, I'm not the first person to say this. I think Craig Carton on New York radio says it. Maybe he's tongue in cheek with it, but I with all this emphasis on the bullpen, right? So now you've got Betances, Chapman, who else do they have?
Robertson.
Pitch every day. Robertson, and who else?
Adam Warren, Chad Green.
All right. So let's just say there's 4 guys that they're confident every day, right?
Yeah.
So how what's to stop a team in baseball from getting 4 stud pitchers and just saying you're going to pitch every day for an inning?
Well, yeah, there's a
why is that so far fetched now? Are we heading in that direction, or will it never work that way because of?
I don't know if we'll head all the way there as in a pitcher for every 9 innings.
I don't mean that, but like you always see that a guy the second time through the lineup, people have kept what he's doing. So like maybe we don't do that anymore. Maybe like you look at that stud rotation that the Mets were supposed to have at the beginning of the year. Like maybe. They each pitch 2 innings, and then they have a freaking, a couple of relievers at the end, and they each pitch every single day for 2 innings.
What you're looking to do is play to your statistical advantage, is give you the best advantage numbers wise. And there's a lot of people that actually make that point, Jeff. And not tongue in cheek. Brian Kenny is one of them. He's on MLB Network. He is like in the spectrum of sabermetrics and advanced statistical analysis. He is so pro and far in on it that it's almost too much. But that's one of his theories and ideas. The same with bullpenning and not using your reliever in the 9th inning. If they're the biggest play in the game occurs in the top of the 5th inning, and you have Mariano Rivera on your team, pitch Mariano Rivera there in that situation. Don't wait
to play anymore, Brett.
I know. Yeah, I'm very well aware.
I don't agree with that.
Why? I mean, the numbers say that's what you should do.
The numbers? What are you, an ASA master now?
Yes.
That's advanced statistical analytics. Not so fast, Pat Sajak. I just think that's dumb. I mean, you're gonna have these guys come back and pitch, 1 inning in succession. What if they pitched the 5th and 6th consecutively? That would be what?
Back-to-back innings?
And a belly to belly.
Look, I'm not saying that I think that it's the smartest thing to do, but the way that baseball is now, everything is so like stat driven and like they're moving third baseman to the other side of second base. Like they clearly the league has taken a vested interest in what certain statistics can do. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility within the next 5 years that you see at least one out of the box manager decide to try it.
I actually heard a interview with Theo Epstein recently. It might have been the part of my take one, where he was saying that everyone has the same statistics now. Like it used to be an advantage, and it no longer is.
It was on part of my take.
Yeah, and his whole thing was now about like club fit.
You didn't hear that somewhere. You actually tell the real story. You were at the Cubby Bear hosting a meet and greet for Miller Coors. And Theo came and spoke, and you were taking some pictures and glad handing, and then Herbie showed up, and then a couple other guys showed up. I mean, don't be so humble. You can humble brag.
That's where I've been the last 2 months. Yeah.
The Cubby Bear.
Yeah. For 2 months straight. Paul, do you think that this move signifies the Yanks are a favorite now in the division, or do you think that they kind of just stay status quo?
I don't think it makes them the favorite in the division. I think still got to leapfrog Boston. Boston's got a much better starting rotation and probably a better lineup top to bottom right now.
That's some deep analytics there from our baseball guy.
No, he's right though. Boston's a better team.
Hot takes.
But I would say hockey guy.
But they clearly made the move.
Kirk 10 times.
They clearly made the move with the intent on making a run at the division, right?
Yeah, I mean, making them run the playoffs. That's really what you want. It's not the division. I mean, you want to win the division, sure, but I think Boston's got the better team, and I don't think that deal makes them better than Boston. So you make that deal to signify, hey, we're going to chase it a little bit this year. We're not going to mortgage the future. We're not going to sell the farm to do it, but we're going to get some pieces if we can and try and stay competitive. As of yesterday, they were still holding the second wild card spot. They got trounced today, so who knows how the standings shake out later, but they're still in it.
And they'll see what happens over the next 10 days. They still got time to make another move if they really, want to try to really go for it.
Like Jay Bruce or something. The fuck is Jay Bruce?
Cashman has proven though time and time again that he definitely does make moves though. Like yesterday was a typical Cashman move, and nobody would be surprised if he makes another one. I mean that's just kind of how he rolls. Switching gears just a tad. This is gonna be quick. The Knicks named the general manager.
Every week they make it. Every fucking week.
The Knicks named the general manager that legitimately looks like a half-black Tony Danza with freckles. And I read somewhere that somebody was like, this guy's going to be the guy that saves the franchise. And there's just no freaking chance that this guy's going to do anything different than anybody else did before him, because Phil Jackson was a bum and couldn't do what he was brought there to do. Couldn't implement his system the way he wanted to because people wouldn't buy in. The guy before him was a bum. The guy before him was a bum, and so on and so on and so forth, all the way back to 94 when Dolan took over the team. So it's not going to matter who they bring in unless it's Maverick Carter to be the GM of the New York Knicks, because they're still going to continue to be a punchline and a laughing stock and not the destination that they should be going forward. Yampo? Any thoughts?
No, I'm not letting them ruin this podcast for me today.
Great.
I did last week. I must have cursed 100 times in the first 15 minutes. I'm not doing it.
You did do that. So, God bless black freckled Tony Danza. We wish you the best.
Salute.
The Open Championship.
The British Open?
The Open.
The Open.
The Open? What's it called?
That's all I've got. The Open Championship. That's all I've got.
Well, this is where Sean and I really just kind of put the podcast on our back and run up that hill. What do you say, Shawnee?
It's Steve.
Stevie. Sorry, Stevie-san.
He's only got about a minute left in that collect call from prison, so we
better hurry up. So the Open, the British Open to us folks over here in the States, the Open Championship to the Europeans, or the Open. Interesting little thing there we're not going to talk about. But it's at Royal Birkdale. Hasn't been there since 2008. Padraig Harrington won there in 2008. Hasn't really won much since, but that's his own issue.
I just love his name.
Padraig. He's a distant cousin of Joey Harrington?
Is he?
Yeah.
How distant?
I don't know, like 5 times removed, maybe? I don't know. I'll Google it. Stat Boy, get on that. Anywho, this is always an interesting kind of major championship, because I think, it's typically link style courses. The weather always plays a big role, whether it's raining or windy. And so it's always kind of one of those tournaments that anybody could win. The field of 78, you cut it in half, and probably half of those guys could win. So this is not one of those tournaments where you want to be picking necessarily, the Spieths or the DJs or, smart.
Everyone who's favored?
Yeah, but see, those guys are always favored every tournament, right?
Yeah, so I kind of disagree. I think there's a few characteristics of the Open, same thing with the U.S. Open, that really matter. I mean, links courses are just particularly difficult in certain ways, and I think it really comes down to like really good ball striking. I think off the tee, you better be under control, and your long irons better be really good to put you in on the green in regulation. I think Jordan can. I will agree with you on Jordan and DJ. Like, if their drivers get off, they're just off, and the wind and weather and stuff can play a bigger role there. I really like Jon Rahm. I like Tommy Fleetwood, as I mentioned in my first call.
Everybody is loving Fleetwood. I love Fleetwood. I got him in one of my picks here. He is a young hot guy. He grew up like right there, didn't he?
Yeah, and there's some crazy backstory for him too. I think you also got to be careful. Like the guys who are just coming over like this week, I would never put money on any of those. The guys who played the Scottish Open, got a round in, and then came over and played are playing in the Open are probably who I'd put my money on.
All right, so I'm going to tell you the 5 guys. I'm sorry, the 6 that I have for my pool where I do with all my buddies. Major championships only. I got Ricky Fowler. You got to pick one in 6 different tiers of players. So you can't just pick like the 6 best players. You pick 1 through 10, 11 through 20, so on and so forth.
Can you qualify? Like, what are you picking them? Like, is this an actual bet, or this just between you guys?
So there's like 32 guys, and basically in the beginning you throw in $100, which I know is a lot for you, Jeff. Except you spend probably $100 a week on fucking beer. You cheap ass.
Way too much.
Well, which daughter's college fund is this coming out of?
Definitely coming out of Kate's right now.
Okay.
Aegis is already tapped out.
Good.
Yeah. So you put $100 in at the beginning of the year, it's 32 guys, and then basically you pick 6 players for the 4 majors and the Players Championship. Anyway, you want to pick guys that make the cut, right? If you end up picking guys you think are just going to win, it's a little risky because if they miss the cut, you start anyway. You know what I mean. Here's my picks. These are for Sean. This is not for anybody else because no one else gets it. Sean, Fowler, Fleetwood, Mickelson, Snedeker, Danny Willett, and Lee Westwood.
Those are good. I like those. I think I had mentioned Rahm. I think where's Justin Thomas fall category-wise in that? Is he towards the top?
Yeah, he's in the 11 through 20.
Yeah, he's the top.
And I'm going with Fleetwood there.
That's probably a good decision. Justin Thomas is interesting to me just because you see what he did, like what he's capable of. He's been playing really well all year with a lot of wins, a lot of top 10 finishes. But if he's playing really, really well, he can for sure be a contender. But I would probably also agree that Fleetwood's the right pick in that. Justin Thomas is a 50-1 if we were maybe talking about putting some money down in Western Union.
Justin Thomas is not a big fan of mine. We had a little bit of a clash at the Quicken Loans tournament here in Potomac, Maryland. Me and about 10 of my older buddies who belong to Congressional Country Club and have a lot of money to just throw around, we were kind of sitting on the Grey Goose Vodka Lounge porch, which is between the tee box and the green of the 17th hole, which is over water. And sound travels over water. And we were just betting $100 a clip at, closest to the pin. Pick a guy. I got that guy, or pick this spot. And we were hooting and hollering. We were way too loud. It was embarrassing. And Justin Thomas came by after he hit his tee shot, walked by, looked at us, and was just shaking his head in pure disgust. Makes it to the green, and all the guys are hooting and hollering back up. He looks back up and goes like this. I've never seen all 3 groups on the green and their caddies turn around, raise their arms up, and go, "What the fuck, guys? What the fuck?" Needless to say, we all got kicked out.
I think every single member on this podcast could have written that story.
we all got escorted out. I've got pictures. We're getting escorted out by like 10 cops.
That's usually how it ends, with you slapping somebody in the face.
I didn't hit anybody. I didn't hit anybody. We were just way too loud in the golf. And Justin, I sent him a note on Snapchat, and I didn't realize he has to be my friend in order to accept the note.
You want me to text him?
Yeah, send him a text. You know him, right?
I do, actually.
Okay. Oh, actually.
See, the thing is, like, a lot of podcasts have T-shirts. If we were to have T-shirts, it would just be "Who cares" with Yampo's face as the headline on some of our social media, and the other T-shirt would just be somebody with their hands up in the air that just goes, "What the fuck, guys?" Like that would, they would
maybe one, if we can create, and if we had an emoji, it would just be a hand slap, open hand slap across a face.
I think that could give Saturdays Are for the Boys a run for its money. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm here for, guys. Your podcast sucked for the last 2 months. Now we've got ideas.
Oh, you are an idea man. I can't wait to live cast with you down at FSU Bama in like a month and a half. A month. It's happening.
So, in your opinion, Sean, we needed was apparently more golf.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think I keep an eye on Phil. He's not playing with a driver this week, which is super.
Yeah, two 3-irons.
2, 3. Yeah, one's like a weird, wacky 3 hybrid that Paul keeps in his bag that he won in the tournament.
That's what I didn't win shit.
Wow. Whoa. Hey, Paul.
Wow.
Paul, you like golf?
I do. I'm golfing tomorrow with Jeff Rassiopo.
Oh, forefather.
Who's that?
Forefather.
Who?
I don't know. Last time he was on here, I think it was lost in China somewhere.
He owes me $20.
Hey, let me
I'll
ask
let
you.
him know.
Let me ask you this question: when you guys make the turn, do you just go up to the juice bar and you're like, "Can I please have every vegetable and fruit that you have in one bottle?" Because beer and hot dogs are not in my diet today.
It's possible.
That sounds like an inside joke that we don't get.
Hey, the turn sounds like a great spinoff for us, Yampo.
I like
a new
it.
podcast.
I like it. Turn 2, the turn.
Since
from the writers
these clowns
of
are in
Turn 2.
trademark infringement
I like
cheater.
It'll do just as well as ESPN2 did with ESPN, The Deuce. So the turn will show, or will definitely turn out pretty
why don't you do this? Why don't the two of you do that podcast? And as soon as you figure out how to do anything with technology, that'll totally work for you. So
It'll just be
Hey,
someone
Yampo, Yampo got his mic
recording.
working this week.
Yeah, exactly. This whole podcast hierarchy of like a show and then spin-off shows has already been mastered by the podfather, Bill Simmons. He's already got like his boy Joe House doing, House of Carbs, which is an amazing one. If you're an eater like I am, you should listen to House of Carbs. And then he's got his other buddy doing the fucking gambling one. It's insane.
But he had a successful one before those.
Well, you got to have a few you kiss a few frogs right before you find a prince.
I'm not a fan of him in spoken word.
Really?
I
agree.
I really dig his written voice and when he speaks, when he's on TV, when he does a podcast. I don't love it.
I mean, I think you get through that. I get it. It's kind of like the whiny, like little Boston. But the content, his content is great.
I don't think that's it at all. I think it's when he's written, he has a chance to revise it, and he's super on point, and his jokes are funnier. Like when he's off the cuff, he's not as funny.
So he's not like me.
No, he's the opposite of you. Like if you had time to revise things,
it would be terrible.
You would say nothing.
There would be so many adjectives. It would just be full of adjectives.
Yeah, you would say nothing.
Hey, one last golf question. Do you think Brooks Koepka has any chance to repeat?
No.
No.
Why?
I mean, he's a strong golfer. I think he's going to work his way into the top 20 on the regular. In fact, he might have already worked his way into the bottom half of the 15, but he hasn't played since Aaron Hills and
yeah, Sean, you were just saying you wouldn't bet money on anybody that hasn't come off of.
He just got there. He didn't, he hasn't been over there. He hasn't played in 3 weeks and whatever. And Joe Buck doesn't know his girlfriend's name. That's not gonna work.
All right.
Gold jacket, green jacket. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. I think we could get a great foursome out of this, and Jeff could be like the caddy, the four caddy. He could carry the putters. He could carry the putters. While we the degenerate gambling that would go on between Sean and I would just be insane.
Don't pull me into this. You are
like
the
our bets on the course.
gambler.
Our bets on the course.
I would totally do that. Like I would just ride along and drink the entire time while the four of you play golf. I'm like, nah, you totally need your 6-iron here.
Oh, dude, it was so bad for me. Last 2 Sundays ago, I came back. I played 27 with my buddy at his club, and I 3-putted on the last hole to push the entire match. So instead of winning $50, I won nothing. We went out to play another 9. We were waiting on the second tee box. I started chipping towards the fucking tee marker. I said $20 closer to the tee. I lost 3 in a row.
This is the inside fans want. This is it.
This is it. They want to know what I do on the weekends.
They know what you do on the weekends. Whatever it is.
My Venmo account is just so active.
It involves whatever it is. It involves a vig. That's what you do on the weekend.
You're a real vig.
Loses a bet, then spends all weekend chasing it.
That's exactly right. That is like that should be my Twitter like little one-liner.
And then he'll tell you he won because the last bet he hits and it covers like 600 of the 800.
Yeah, you know what? My wife called me out on
it.
that not too long ago, and when I told her I actually won $800 or $1,000 cash at the casino in Detroit, she didn't believe me. She's like, "Well, how much did you put on the table to bet?" I said, I was given 500. I was given 500 from my coworker, and once I got to 7, I gave him his 5 back. So then I purely won $1,000 from there. She's like, "Oh, that's a first."
The white man says within his account, he never takes payment. He just tries to win a few things back with what's in there.
That's right. I have one buddy who plays blackjack. He goes up by like $30. He's like, "I'm out. I'm done." I'm like, you and Jeff Coviello should fucking hang out.
Here's the problem. Like when I did go to a casino, what you're painting me as is absolutely not what I was at all. So whatever this caricature is that you've developed, I'll ride with it because it's more wholesome than.
Okay. All right. Well, good golf segment, Scott. Sean. Steve.
So let's actually do this time, since we ignored it.
Who cares?
Last time. Stephon Marbury. It's the Starberry. He's gonna play one more year in China.
How old is he?
40.
Is he really?
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah, I do. He's 40.
Right. He was born in 77. All right.
And he has a star on the side of his head.
Yeah, I don't even know what happened to that guy. I was like, he's here and then he's gone. That's like one of those guys.
No, he went to China to resurrect his basketball career, and he's legitimately like the most famous athlete
superstar
in China.
Yeah. How long has he been playing there?
10 years, maybe more.
Hold on, who's he playing for? Oh my God, he's been since 2010. The Shaanxi Zhongzhou Brave Dragons.
That's definitely how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
Listen, if I can't say Daryl Revis, I definitely can't say the Shaanxi Zhongzhou Brave Dragons. The Foshan Dralyuns, isn't that the same thing? And the Beijing Ducks.
Shaolin. I think he plays for the Shaolin.
He plays for the Beijing Ducks for the last 6 years.
Gangsu, what you're saying.
That's a terrible name. The Beijing Ducks. That's like a Peking duck. That's what you eat. You eat that.
Seriously, starving. No, he's like a god out there. Like they have a statue of him.
Yao Ming is a god in China. Stephon Marbury is not.
You're wrong.
No,
is it Stephon?
You're very wrong. So wrong.
Stephon?
I think I can help with the Stefan thing.
Stupid fucking syllables.
But no, like they did like a whole documentary on him too. Like he's a huge athlete in China right now. So
okay, well, who fucking cares?
Yeah, I agree. That'd be good.
Who cares?
Kyrie Irving, he's concerned. He's concerned about the status of the status.
Yeah,
I would say status.
Status.
I just saw on ESPN's Bottom Line, LeBron James is also concerned.
Ooh, LeBron.
Right,
James.
but is it status or status?
Well, that's because if you look at his Instagram, he mentioned that as well. I botched the Instagram joke. Fuck.
That was bad. So Kyrie says, I understand we're in a very peculiar place. We just have to, make sure that all our pieces are aligned first, and then we go from there. It's the summertime. A lot of craziness going on in the NBA. This is a guy that thinks the earth is flat. Like, I can't take serious anything that he has to say about being in a tough spot because he legitimately thinks the earth is flat because he's looked at maps.
Yeah, but hold on. That sentence.
Google Maps?
Yeah, but that sentence was like the soliloquy from Billy Madison. Like, I don't understand. What did he say? I feel dumber for reading that.
I don't know. But,
we best to just observe and see what happens, but obviously there are some things that I'm pretty sure our organization wants to do, and we'll go. What?
I don't know what that means. Like, really, you think that your organization wants to do things? You have you and LeBron James on your team. You're going to go to at least to the conference finals again without making a single move.
Why do we give these guys a platform to just speak? I guess some could say the same about us. Why are we given a platform to speak?
Because we took it.
Goddamn right we did.
We just took it. So, Kyrie Irving.
Who cares? The way Jamie Lannister took Cersei.
Come on. Hang on.
This one's for you, Yampo.
Aren't they all for Yampo? Isn't this his segment?
I love this segment. Kirk Cousins was called Kurt 6 times by Bruce Allen. And by the way, this is just all the rage down here. The sports talk radio down here cannot get enough of how bad they have that the Redskins have just butchered this. They had an opportunity to have a franchise quarterback. They couldn't get it done. Kirk Cousins went from making like $900,000 to $19 million, and then this year's making $24.4 million. He could get franchised next year and make like 30 something. It's like 40% increase. It's insane. What's wrong with this team?
Can somebody help with the Kirk thing?
The best is they tried to blame it on his like southernish accent. Bruce Allen doesn't have a southern accent.
I've never heard him speak. Like, is he just a moron? Is that what it boils down to?
Yeah, it's strange. I don't know what's going on. I mean, he's basically Dan Schneider has thrown money at guys over the course of time down here. You know, Dion, Hainsworth, shit. He's just throwing money at everyone, and I think Bruce Allen was hired to kind of be like, "See, I saved you from not spending all that money," but now he fucked it up, and Kirk Cousins is going to end up out in San Francisco or LA or some bullshit.
But does it really matter? Like, does anybody in this panel legitimately think Kirk Cousins is like a stud quarterback?
No,
a stud.
No, but I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Kirk Cousins.
Go Green.
Why? What about Kirk Cousins makes you a big fan of his?
Plugging him into my fantasy lineup and getting like a solid 30 points from him every week is pretty awesome.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about fantasy quarterback. There's plenty of guys that were bad NFL players that were
fantasy quarterbacks come from points put up, meaning throwing for high yardages and high touchdowns. That means you're good.
Yeah, but I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about like Derek Carr got all that money. I'm like, this guy's had like 1.5-ish good years, and now all of a sudden it's like that's the going rate for a marginal quarterback.
That's the reflection of the market, that the money, the amount of money.
But I think that's what happened to Kirk. Kirk?
Well, he's on a franchise tag. Yeah, that's exactly what that is an aggregate of what quarterbacks make.
He went
in a tiered system.
Words.
He went from making $600K to making like, what's he making this year? Like almost $30 million.
24 and change.
I mean, like he's not worth $24 million and change.
No, he's not.
But that's a different argument if whether or not he's good or not. That what he's getting paid is completely different.
He's probably worth $24 million on the Jets.
I'm telling you right now, if he were available, I would be angry if they signed him for a $24 million per year contract.
Really?
I
Who
don't
would you
think
not be angry about if you signed somebody?
Good point. Good point.
Nobody. There's nobody. There's nobody.
But I mean, like, who are the top like 5? Like, it's pretty obvious. There's a pretty big drop off after you could go like a third of the quarterbacks in the league and be like, I would want that guy on my team. And then after that, it's kind of like, yeah, he could be all right for a couple of years. And then there's like the no fucking way.
Right. And I don't think Kirk Cousins is in no fucking way.
No, he's the like, I could deal with him for a couple of years.
Right. But you also got to remember, like a few years ago, I had a buddy at work who's a Redskins fan. A few years ago, like Robert Griffin III was the starting quarterback, and they put Cousins in, and he like played like really badly for a couple of games, and like he was like he's not the answer. Like it's like, you know, we're just gonna tread water, and then suddenly he put this string together. The you like that game came into play, and then suddenly, you know, they're talking themselves into the fact that this guy's a franchise quarterback. I just don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong. I
agree with you, and as someone who lives in the market, I totally agree with you.
Yampo, did they have to do anything cap-wise to actually make that happen? Like,
No,
did
they
they
got
clear
rid of
anybody
everyone
out?
else on their team? They got rid of all his weapons.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, Deshaun is gone, and all he really had is Jordan Reed and Jamison Crowder, who can't stay healthy.
Well, no,
they did bring in Pryor.
They brought the guy in from Cleveland, right?
Yep, Terrell Pryor. Terrell. Fucking assholes.
What are the odds that he takes some snaps at quarterback this year after Cousins has a miserable start?
Slim to none. But you got to remember, you guys are missing one thing here. There was a couple of years ago, it was like RG3 and then Cousins. Like RG3 got hurt and then Cousins played like dog shit. And then guess who's in playing a bunch of games? And everyone's like, we got to sign Colt McCoy long term.
Yeah, I think that was just something that was on DC Sports Radio. Nobody said Colt McCoy needs to be signed long term.
This marketplace is the worst. This is the worst marketplace to listen to people because all they do is bellyache about it. It's like listening to Jeff about the Jets and the Knicks on repeat.
Yeah, no other markets do that.
Yeah, that's what this market is.
I'm pretty sure it's every market.
This one's bad. Who cares? I care. Ish.
This one's bad.
This one's great.
This one's great.
Bro, this is a late ad because I didn't see this, and I'm pretty sure I wasn't nominated. But Del Barton High School in New Jersey, the great state of New Jersey.
Oh, shoot, I just looked at this.
Has been selected for fans to vote their Mount Rushmore of athletes.
These hot guys.
And no one on this podcast, most notably myself, was nominated. Linemen are not important anymore in high school, or am I just not that good?
Both.
I would say I would pick Brett.
Who cares?
Hold on.
What?
I want you to take a breath, think long and hard about who you would actually nominate. We're gonna ask both of you to do it.
You're teeing me up here.
Go right now.
I'm not. What am I supposed to say? Jeff Rassiopo?
I don't know. You got to have.
I'll start you off, right? Troy Murphy.
Yeah, Troy Murphy, George Peros.
Yep.
Wes Swackhammer.
Oh, greatest name
actually
in high
think-
school sports. Wesley Swackhammer.
He was literally the most talented athlete I've ever played with on
You
any
did play.
sport.
You played more baseball with him because you quit football.
Yeah, but he's really good. I just
Not on the list. Jermaine Pugh, not on the list.
Yeah, death from above.
He's dead.
Mike Gray.
No,
could
no,
be
no.
on there. Is Mike Gray on there?
He is. Yeah, he'll probably
Okay.
win. For sure.
Yeah, I mean that kid is a silly wrestler.
Is Father Luke on there?
Father Luke is not on there because he actually played with kids instead of.
he's all right.
He's on the Mount Rushmore.
That's what I heard. It was a joke. I'm kidding.
He's on Nick's
Listen,
Mount
I'm out.
Rushmore.
I was kidding about that.
No,
I
who cares?
didn't get
No.
nominated because I didn't make it through the senior championship game. Or my senior year, I didn't make it. I got the guy Stallone, Frank Stallone from St. Joe's Montvale, beat the shit out of me at Giant Stadium. Who cares?
Nobody cares about why you're not on it.
Well, then why'd you put me in there?
I didn't do any of this. I didn't even know
That
it
was me.
happened.
That was me.
That was Steve.
You're still reading NJ.com?
No, somebody. I don't know. I don't know how it came into my feed.
Twitter. So all right. So
JR.
legitimately, definitely Troy Murphy, right?
Yeah. George Peros.
Who else?
I mean, you have the list in front of you?
No, I have no idea. I don't know who any of these people are. I'm asking you if you were, as a guy that went there, if you were to put 4 guys on there, who would it be?
Ned Crotty.
Yeah, Ned Crotty's possible. Yeah, I mean, geez, the guy's a USA lacrosse phenom. All right, let's go with
What's
Ned
the
Crotty.
hockey? DiAgostino?
He's not there yet. I would say Troy Murphy, Mike Gray, and Ned Crotty. Rushmore has 4, I know.
I was gonna say. I don't think that's we quite got there.
I got it. I saw you getting so antsy. I barely whatever. Who cares? Move on. Not so fast, Pat Sajak.
Whatever.
Who cares?
Next one.
Father Luke.
Next one. Brett, this is your wheelhouse. Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather.
Oh God.
Their
their press conference world tour was an absolute joke.
Why Brady Quinn was funny. He was on the Sports Junkies this morning. He was making so much fun of these guys.
That's what, and whoever wrote this, I completely agree with it. They're the same guy. They're both playing the bad role, and it really makes for kind of boring.
But if
this
you
whole
did-
thing's going to be boring.
If you didn't know them and we blindfolded you, would you know which one was black and which one was white?
Yes, because of the heavy Irish accent.
No,
What?
by their names.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Conor McGregor. That's kind of hard. You'd have to like erase like 20 years of history in my head for me to not rethink that.
Here's the thing. It's like I don't want to contribute to this by paying for it, but at the same time, $100 from me or a bunch of my buddies is not going to move the needle.
Whoa, money bags.
Hey now.
All right.
Whoa.
Sorry, my name's
Dropping
Jeff.
the bucket.
All right. I don't have 2 nickels to rub together right now.
But I actually heard an interesting theory. I don't remember where the hell I heard it. Was that Floyd's going to let Conor hang for a little while,
Oh, for sure.
just to, at the end of the day, have
Rematch money.
have not even that, but have more crossover from the UFC guys that are their contracts are expiring, so that whatever Mayweather Promotions, whatever his thing, whatever his company is, could then cross promote those fights with Dana White, so he can make more money.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because that's, because he's got to pay his taxes. So I feel for him.
Well, when you rain dollar bills from the rafters over in where was he, in Brooklyn when they did that?
Did you guys talk about this fight already on the show? I haven't listened.
Yes, we have.
I mean, we haven't really talked about the fights. I think Conor McGregor. I'm going to put some money on McGregor.
Well, we're gonna have our turn 2 boxing and MMA specialist Victoria Busby break this down as the fight gets closer.
I prefer her maiden name.
She's agreed to come on and share her thoughts as to what's going to happen. But I know, Brett, I know you're going to watch the fight. Sean, are you going to watch the fight?
Yeah, why not?
Paul?
Somebody else pays for it.
Yeah.
Do you want to ask JP if he's going to watch the fight?
JP, are you going to watch the fight?
Jeff, I might watch the fight from my basement, but I'm not sure yet. I haven't talked to my wife about it. So, I'm going to have to get back to you on that.
Whatever, yeah, Paul.
Yeah, Paul, are you going to watch the fight?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're knocking it, but every single person on the panel
Who cares?
is gonna watch the fight. Your boy Brett Paul Pierce,
My boy.
he signed a 1-day contract with the Celtics to retire as a Celtic. That stuff drives me freaking crazy.
Sorry, I'm back. I was looking at all the people on the Mount Rushmore, Del Barton.
Oh, good.
You've been doing that since we left that part.
There was like 25 guys, and
Yeah, there was a lot. That wasn't fair.
We played with like half of them. Yeah, but which was crazy. Not like played all sports with them, but like went to school with like half of them.
Really?
Father Luke played with all of them.
Cut that one. Grab that.
All right, so Paul Pierce, he signs a 1-day contract with the Celtics.
Paul Pierce
to retire as a Celtic.
But he showed up to the facility in Brooklyn net shorts and a throwback Inglewood t-shirt.
Yeah,
just to screw with Danny Ainge.
I'm gonna take that as a fact that he loved Brooklyn so much and felt like that was his home and that's where he should have been his whole career. And I get that. I get it. So
I got a question about this though. Okay, because he played for like how many? He played for the Clippers. He played for the Wizards. As like.
He played for the Wizards? Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah. It's one thing if you like play
last year,
play like your entire career with the team, and then you like that team realizes like, hey, you're done, and you try and resurrect your career with one team, it doesn't work, and you retire, and you're like, fuck it, I'm coming back, and I'm retired. Like, but if you played for like 3 or 4 different teams, what is this? I don't get it.
What don't you get?
Like. Why are they even doing this? Oh, great. You won a championship. You were an integral part of the team here, but that doesn't mean you can just sign a 1-day contract and retire here. You're not hanging his fucking jersey from the rafters.
No, they are.
They absolutely are.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
No, I think it's pretty obvious.
Shaquille O'Neal has a statue in Los Angeles, and he played for Orlando, Los Angeles, Boston, Cleveland, Miami.
Phoenix.
I get it. I don't agree with it.
My point is, like, it happened.
Martin Brodeur has a statue. And he played with the Devils his entire career, except for like one half of a year.
He played for St. Louis.
For like one half of a year. 3 games, 7 games, whatever it was. That you want to come back, retire, hang the jersey? Fine. But when you go play for 4, 5, 6 different teams, you have success at other places. This is stupid. This is borderline millennials. Like, everybody gets a trophy. Oh, you want to come back and retire with us? Great. We'd love to have you. We'll give you a participation jersey in the rafters.
Do you think Kirk Cousins will retire as a Redskin?
Who cares?
I think Kirk Cousins might.
Kurt might.
Definitely will. Kirk Cousins will be – there's going to be some great T-shirts here in D.C. about Kirk Cousins with, like, Bruce Allen's face. I'm going to get you one in an XL.
OJ, the Juice.
Oh, Jesus.
The Juice is up for parole.
And an Emmy.
Yes, and several Emmys.
What a year.
He's up for parole. If it goes his way, he could be released as early as October the 1st.
Can't we just keep OJ in jail?
There was some Fugazi story that he was not going to be eligible for it because he got caught masturbating in prison. And then like TMZ Sports came out and was like, nah, it's not.
Steve, can you confirm or deny that?
It was never explained to me when I was in jail or am in jail that you can't masturbate in prison.
I was gonna say, where can you masturbate if you're in jail?
Not where I was in jail. You definitely can't do it in a 12-man cell.
That is a beautiful prison cell you're in there, Steve. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, it's spacious.
I think the big winner here is the Halloween costume industry, because if he gets released at the end of September, early October, with all the recent runs of Making a Murderer and all that, or all the OJ stuff, I think they could bring back the Judge Ito mask, the Kato mask, the OJ mask.
So it's more like stay woke. The Halloween industry is behind this, and they're going to make all their money.
I agree, but I don't know what you said to start that.
There's some really untouched Spencer's Gifts warehouse in California somewhere that has all those things that you just talked about.
At Party City.
They're like,
I got a great idea.
Please release them.
Re-release the Judge Ito mask for this Halloween. It's a guaranteed hit. Guaranteed.
Stephon Marbury's got a guy in China just working on it.
Making T-shirts that say the juice is loose. ... again.
I'm saying this is how ideas are born in a boardroom full of schlubs who make millions of dollars.
Yeah, well.
Are you talking about us or are you talking about somebody else?
I wish. I'm talking about Sean. I'm talking about Paul because he looks so miserable.
I'm good. Yo, OJ, when he gets out, he should do some Ford Bronco commercials.
Oh,
They should bring it back.
I agree. How do you not do that? If you're a Ford marketing guy, they're bringing out the Bronco. How do you not just say, you know what? I'm going to cut about half of my market segment loose, but I'm going after just the one group that likes OJ and wants to drive a Bronco. Because you're going to lose women and a lot of other people I can't bring up here.
Yeah,
Women.
the Ford Bronco car line would also need to be out in existence too.
The whole service industry probably.
As if Detroit doesn't have any fucking problems.
Oh,
that was discussed last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, you missed that last week.
Yeah, I don't listen to you guys.
The other question that thanks, Steve. We appreciate that. Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Let's move on. Mike Vick. Mike Vick has some words of advice for Colin Kaepernick.
Jesus.
Cut your hair.
What a freaking joke. Mike Vick, right? Hey, Colin Kaepernick, do you own a dog?
Whoa, cuts deep.
Yeah, right? I mean, I don't even want to touch.
Was that a real question? Were you asking him if he owned a dog?
Can you call him? Because I know you got to sell.
I don't have cap cell.
You don't have cap cell. Just his landline.
You have his fax.
You have his beeper.
He probably still has a beeper, that asshole.
You have payphones, bank of phones. Not getting a SIG in my beaver.
Collect calls.
Click.
You can't call collect to Africa or wherever he is in his motherland.
You have a collect call from Manitowoc County Jail. Do you accept the charges?
How?
Who's my wife trying to imitate there? I don't even know what that was.
I don't know. You just why you got to peek behind the curtain like that and tell everybody that's your wife right there.
Oh, my bad. I thought the gig was up.
It's probably up. So whatever.
Who cares? This belongs in Who Cares too, just for the record.
No, it doesn't.
Roger Federer won his 8th Wimbledon title. He's absolutely the most dominant athlete, with the exception of probably Serena in that sport. That completely gets ignored. Do you guys have any really dominant athletes in sports that you think have maybe just not gotten the love that they should have, based on the fact that their sport isn't as high profile?
Yeah, UConn women's basketball team.
Gino Auriemma.
But that was a freaking softball, and I didn't even realize I threw it.
You didn't. You lobbed the shit out of that one. And he's been waiting for like 15 episodes, and Steve's return.
You're so your answer. Damn it.
Be mad at yourself.
I might just mute myself.
When I saw this question before, I was like, yes.
Okay, so you think the UConn women's basketball team?
Yes.
Anybody have anything else?
No, I think that's a clear winner.
I don't think anything can touch that.
That is just brutal.
Maybe Lisa Leslie.
Who's the chick that can dunk? Anybody know her name?
Dikembe Mutombo?
It's not a chick.
Oh,
it's just not a chick at all. All right, well, we're useless.
No, you're useless. We're great.
Yeah. Last licks.
Woo!
Today, hot off the presses, Shane McMahon was in a helicopter. I think he was in a Blade helicopter.
Candace Parker.
Coming from New York, thank you. Coming from Manhattan, going out to West Hampton. And they had to make an emergency landing in the Atlantic Ocean. And during the press conference, some dopey-ass woman reporter says, are you Vince McMahon's son? And he just looked at her, and he was like, yeah, I am. And he had a look on his face like he was about to drop her.
And go, no chance. That's what you got.
You're fired.
By the way, the only takeaway from this, aside from it not making into Who Cares, is does he look like a complete roid head? Did you see him? Where does his head and his neck, the connection of his head and neck and his traps are like one big, like the mountain. He's like a mongoloid.
He's a big
Well,
dude.
Jeff watches WWE every week, so he'll have a take on this.
He's been that big since he came back probably about 2 years ago. He came back about 2 years ago and fought the Undertaker at WrestleMania, and he was that.
But why does he fight? Like, he was Vince's son, and it was like a kind of gag, and then he had the Greenwich Street pot, whatever the fuck they were, and he had like a head and a neck. and he wore a suit, and he was a terrible fighter.
You're making fun, but like you just pulled the Mean Street Posse out like it was like something that you had a collector's card.
No, I'm not. I'm being serious. I thought it was funny back in the day. I watched then.
Right.
But now I don't get it. Why is he fighting, and why is his neck, head, and traps all one? It's like a cankle. He's got like a head cankle.
What would you call that?
A hankle.
No, what would you really call it? What was it? It's neck, traps, back. Like what would you? Is that what it is? Like what would you think? What is it that blends together?
It's his like neck and his traps. It's his naps or trek. He's got a trek. I don't know.
I like naps. We got a hashtag naps because that's totally what it is. When you're
Let's see if we can just get that trending and just crush him on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't think we will.
Well, if you fucking do your work on social medias, you're good at the social medias.
When your neck and your traps are the same thing, it's your naps.
So I once talked to a guy who used to work for the WWE, and he was pretty high up, and he said that like if ratings were down in any individual week, he would walk into Vince's office and he'd say, "Hey Vince, ratings are down," and he would just go, "All right, that's it. I'm writing myself into the story then." That's how they would recover week to week. So that's got to be it.
How is that a recovery?
Way too much time talking about this.
I was trying to think, Jeff, what's the next pay-per-view coming?
I have no idea.
I wanted to know what the early buy returns are for that, because if they're low, I don't put this above Vince to throw a small helicopter incident.
The thing with them, and they're doing kind of what I think that the major sports leagues are going to end up doing is they have their own network now, so they have like their own like Netflix type of thing. So you used to have to pay whatever the hell it was, $50 for like a monthly pay-per-view, and now if you just pay $10 a month, you get all of them. So it's a totally different scenario now. I don't know how he writes himself into this. He's like 70 years old. So if he comes out and starts like hitting people with steel chairs,
he looks good for 70, man.
I just want to know when it is so I can call Jibo and Nick Taro and Mike Donnelly and Joe McCurdy and have some dipping pizzas over at their house and recreate some.
That's the Mount Rushmore right there.
That is a Mount Rushmore of just pure assholes who just got together, ravaged Bud White, and just beat the shit out of Jerry Boyle, basically.
Crave case.
Who, by the way, responded to my text inquiry earlier in the show by saying, "I can't go on. I'm not calling in."
What do you think? I guarantee you that Jibo's got naps.
I don't know. He went. That's like a real rags to riches story. He went from moobs to naps.
Right. Autobiography title from moobs to naps.
You have a ghostwriter.
Moobs to nabs, the pie story.
Oh, Jerry.
Can you imagine the audio book of that?
I would be narrated.
How was that Del Barton?
Narrated by David Yampolsky.
I sat in the parking lot of Stilettos while everybody else went in.
Father Luke touched me.
Oh boy!
Why are we going there again? What's up with that?
That's
Whatever, yeah, Paul.
Jealousy is a female trait, Paul.
Hey, why is this section called Last Licks and not like Last Call?
That's a good point.
All right, fine. I mean, come back and change it. I called it Last Licks once. It stuck, and now you come back and think you own the place.
Well, I made it better.
Stick. Last call was way better.
Well, the names have all changed since you hung around. But those dreams have remained and they've turned around.
You're supposed to cut to the part where they actually do the welcome back, not play the whole intro. Stupid.
That's nonsense.
I got a few things if we're in last call.
Sure.
We have some nice like Instagram things going on, and we need to get Paul and Sean in that Instagram sharing group. Did you guys see the Barstool Sports recently? There've been a couple where these freaking these gender reveals.
Yes, where the guy let the ball.
Oh my god!
I lost my mind. I must have watched the gender reveal where the guy took the pitch.
Yep.
And it just drops at his feet.
That was brilliant.
It's a girl.
I was just telling Sarah last night about the one where the dude, the ball didn't break and he pelted his wife in the face.
Right.
Ripped it. Line drive up the middle.
Right back at her. Didn't break.
The audio in the background is, "You're not supposed to swing so hard."
But that ball didn't break. He had to swing harder.
I like the guy who took the pitch. I like to tell myself, to make it funnier, that he did it intentionally. But then you hear at the end where he's like, "Well, you threw it at my chest." God, I mean, first of all, gender reveals are so ridiculous in their own right. Did you guys do that? I hope you didn't do that. Oh, you did?
No,
Brett?
I was thumbs upping something.
Uh-oh, Paul, did you do a gender reveal?
We had a party. It was more just a reason to get everyone over to the house.
Well, let's get some deets. Was there like a balloon thing?
He just told you he has to go for a reason, and now you're like, let's keep him on. Don't do this to him. Don't do that.
All right, fine. Did you
Well,
have
no. First of all, Brett gave a thumbs for those listening. Brett gave a thumbs up on screen, which means he definitely had a gender reveal party. But then when he was asked about it, he reneged.
I didn't invite anybody
because he did not want to take the heat from the group.
I could see Brett taking a pitch on that if they were doing that. I could see. Oh, and we lost Paul.
Never mind, Dave.
The one thing I'm upset about with the guy who belted his wife in the face, how does he not soft toss that to himself and just send it into the street?
I don't know. There's got to be some good. We got to come up with some good ones.
To answer your question, Yampo, no.
Yeah.
No
your
gender.
wife definitely wouldn't allow that. That is so not your wife.
No, the opposite of my wife. My wife was, I'm not telling anybody because she knew we were having a girl, and she was like, if I get any pink shit, I'm gonna lose my mind. So, we were the complete opposite of that.
Oh, I gotta. Those are just too good to not mention. I lost my shit on those.
I did see today that the Chargers' first-round pick, wide receiver Mike Williams, might miss the entire year with back surgery.
That
sucks, right? That's a bummer.
Did he sign his? Yeah, he signed his contract.
Yeah,
imagine so. How do you pass a physical and then have to have back surgery? Like,
great question. Didn't he have wasn't he having some hernia issues for a while?
I don't know. I don't know anything about the guy.
College football specialist.
Yeah, he's really good. I don't know. I didn't hear how he got hurt, so I can't comment on that. But
the gender reveal party.
He probably swung too hard at a gender reveal.
He went to do the reenact the OBJ one-handed catch in the corner, and he dropped it.
Must be it.
I heard he slipped on a sock and fell downstairs. I don't know if that's true.
Oh, that's one for the Turn podcast.
Yeah,
that's just a little insider.
DJ
for the Turn.
action.
I'm gonna.
That
give
was a
to you
deep.
guys.
That was a deep cut. That was
Yeah.
a deep dive, actually, if you will, a deep dive.
I like the turn. I like the idea of the turn, especially because I don't know anything about golf. So I'll
What don't you understand about golf?
No, I understand golf. I don't follow golf, so I don't know. Like, I don't know the majority of the guys you were talking about earlier.
Well, that's why you didn't say anything.
Exactly. That's why I was. Except for I like Patrick Harrington's name. That was my contribution.
That was, and it was early too. It was like right at the beginning. But anyway, did you see that Sandoval got traded on a minor league deal or pending a physical?
Where?
Back to San Francisco.
Yeah, pending a physical that'll fail.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Is he? Can't you just take his face and like change it with Panda Gourmet? It's like interchangeable, or Gourmet Express. What is that? Panda Express.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me get
Good one.
By your rules and regulations, though, Yampo, like he can go back there. They can retire his jersey, right?
No, he never even hit in a playoff game.
Right, but he's only been on 2 teams, right?
Oh, are you saying he could retire with the Giants?
Yeah.
But he's going back to play with them, not just to like have a one-day contract where he's like.
No, what I'm saying is when he fails his physical, he can sign his one-day contract and retire there, and they can hang his jersey on the wall.
No.
How much do you think that Kirk Cousins would get for a one-day contract at the Redskins? How much would they pay him?
Kurt's been pretty vital to their success.
Has he though?
Yeah.
Is it success they've had? Is that
would the Redskins pay him like $20 million for a one-day contract?
Probably. I think Nicky would call it success, right? Because they made the playoffs once in like 5 years.
True story. I'd like to see like some sort of contract that gets drawn up for whatever the next contract he signs, wherever it is, especially if it's not in Washington. They have to write Kurt on the contract and tweet it out just as a joke, right? They have to do that.
The San Francisco 49ers are pleased to announce the signing of Kirk Cousins. Could you imagine? Social media savages. That would be great.
They have to do it.
God, I missed the mark. I could have been such a great social media person. Not really.
You could have been a contender.
Could have been on the Mount Rushmore at Del Barton.
Yeah, but you're not.
No chance.
All right. Any last thoughts, Brett?
None for me.
Okay, keep calm. And what's the rest of that shirt say?
It's from his gender reveal party.
It's from my gender.
Keep calm. I'm having a boy.
Keep calm.
Is it a boy or a girl?
I don't know. Let's cut the cake and find out.
That's what Paul did.
That's why he dropped off. He knew he was going to get dick punched by me.
Yeah, but anything else that you're going to say to make anybody else angry?
Did that make people angry? I thought we were very festive tonight.
Say something funny, Evo.
Hey, did you guys see the guy? I sent you the thing from the Tulane guy who like hung clean a bazillion pounds and then dropped it and everybody went berserk. Did you see that? That was a good little. Sean, did you see that one?
No.
Okay, well.
Hey, Mike. Thanks, Mike.
The vaudevillian. It's like Pee Wee Herman and vaudeville humped and had a kid and named it Yampo.
Hey, thanks, Mike.
We almost got through a whole show, and I couldn't let it happen. I needed to hear that voice, whatever it was.
Thanks, Mike. I really appreciate it. First time, long time.
Okay.
That's also your Mike Striffler voice.
Oh, yeah. Striffler.
This show's had way too much Del Barton. Sean, any last words to say on your welcome back show? This will probably be the last time you're here for a while, right?
Yeah, for sure. And this is the most expensive collect call from Manitowoc County Jail in all time.
Taxpayers are paying this one.
Are you gonna stick around or what? Like, are you gonna hang out? Are you gonna come back?
Why don't we revisit this? You know, a little college football time. You know, a few weeks away.
We'll circle back around.
But I got one more week of like totally. I can just yell in my house.
Yeah, you can do that on your own time.
Great.
Whatever, yeah, Paul.
Check us out on all social media. You can find us by searching Turn 2 Podcast. Our Snapchat is
lit is the word you're looking for. It's lit.
Is really what it boils down to. Find us Stitcher, TuneIn, iTunes, all that other junk. That's where we are. Thanks for taking the time to listen. And until next time, we'll catch you later.
Desperandum, dear lady. Across the desert lies the promised land. Goodbye, Mrs. Gloop. Adieu, auf Wiedersehen, Gesundheit, farewell.
Fare thee well to you, my own true love. River Mercy, fare thee well. I am bound for California, a place that I know right well. So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's grieving me, but my darling, when I think of thee. Now I signed on a Yankee clipper ship. Davy Crockett is the name, and the captain's name it is Burgess, and they say that she's a floating shame. So farewell, my own true love. When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's grieving me, but my darling, when I think of thee. Now I sailed with Burgess once before, and I think that I know him well. If a man's a sailor, he will get along. If he's not, then he's sure in hell. So farewell, my own true love. When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's grieving me, but my darling, when I think of thee. All right, yo! Oh, the sun is on the harbor, love. Oh, I wish that I could remain, for I know that it will be a long, long time before I see you again. So farewell, my own true love. When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's grieving me, but my darling, when I think of thee. So farewell, my own true love. When I return united we will be. not to leave it on Liverpool. That's crazy, to my darling, when I think of thee.
Well, my hangover's gone and I'm thirsty for more.
Shout out to Ed Tang. Stay safe, bud.